With growth comes change, and in this case, new opportunities. Thunder Ridge is taking shape, and next year, D93 will have 3 teams playing on Friday nights. Hello and welcome to the Grease Monkey pregame show. Tonight we are coming to you from your local Grease Monkey on Channing Way here in Idaho Falls. Sam, next year is going to be interesting, that's for sure, but I can assure you, these kids are thinking about the games tonight. They're not thinking ahead to next year at all.
That's right, Phil. It's cliche, but it's true. One game at a time. These kids are thinking about taking down some grizzlies and tigers, and it has nothing to do with the Idaho Falls Zoo.
Not at all. Fall practice began a few weeks ago, and these teams are fired up for tonight. We went to practice with the Bees and the Knights to get a preview. Hillcrest won the coin flip, and so we will preview them first.
Now here's what you can expect from the Knights.
The goal never really changes for the Hillcrest football team.
You know, our goal is to make the playoffs, and knock off some people. I think, we've got some, like I said before, I think we have some folks that can make some good things happen for us. And we want to make the playoffs this year.
4 out of the first 5 games for the Knights will be played at Thunder Stadium. This is quite the contrast to last year when Hillcrest opened up with 2 tough ones on the road. The Knights held the lead in most of their games last year, but a few second halves didn't quite work out for them. Senior quarterback Dalton Clark says things will be different this year.
We're going to finish games. We're going to go out and just finish the game, I think. Not going to be a half team, first half or second half team. I think we've worked hard in the weight room and stuff, and I think we can play through the whole game.
This year, the Knights open up at home against last year's 4A state champs, the Skyline Grizzlies.
It's fun to play a state champ. Who wouldn't want to play a state champ? It'll be a good football game. We'll both go out there, play hard, and hopefully we come out on top.
The following week, the Knights will host another playoff team as they welcome the Blackfoot Broncos to Thunder Stadium. The week after that is the Civil War, and then they'll play a game in the Pacific time zone before returning for the second half of the season.
We'll play anybody anytime. I mean, it really doesn't matter. What I do like about the schedule is the Lake City trip, and it's a fun trip where you get to go on the road and kind of be like a college team a little bit. And so, that's a neat thing for us this year.
Now, we mentioned Skyline is last year's 4A state champs. Hillcrest and Bonneville are expected to drop down next year when Thunder Ridge opens, and the Bees would love to start this next chapter with a color other than red on the Thunder Stadium goalpost. In Coach Virgil's first year as the head coach at Bonneville, the Bees finished with 3 times as many wins as the year before. And as he gets ready for season number 2, Coach says he expects further development from his young Bees squad.
I think taking over a program that had struggled for several years, I think building that mentality and changing the culture a little bit was kind of a challenge last year. Luckily, we had a good group of kids and had some success, and I think having some success and building off that is a lot easier than starting from square one. So I think this year, I think kids have learned how to compete a little more and expect a little more success, which is different than it was in the past.
One potential stumbling block is the schedule. After tonight's game at Ravston Stadium, the Bees have 2 games in beautiful Thunder Stadium. Then they'll hit the road until mid-October.
We're on the road a lot. It was kind of a scheduling mix-up 2 years ago, so we're paying the price for it this year. We're on the road all but 4 of our games, so we got to learn how to compete on the road. So we're kind of approaching with a different mentality this year, and we need to learn how to travel. We only traveled a couple times last year, and some of those were good and some of them were bad. So that's a point of emphasis this year.
This brutal stretch includes back-to-back trips to the Magic Valley and a trip to Holt Arena to take on the Highland Rams. The Bees have plenty of firepower, and it all starts with their senior quarterback.
Brock's done a heck of a job for us. He started about a handful of games his sophomore year, and then obviously we had the transfer last year, and he took a different role on the team and was kind of our backup guy at the varsity level. Saw some time, but the way he handled it, I think he garnered a lot of respect from his teammates, certainly from the coaches. He's a leader. He took the reins in the spring. Ran 7-on-7 with a bunch of guys, maintained that through the summer, and I think he commands the locker room. He is the epitome of what a quarterback is.
Now, these first few games are critical for the Bees. Bonneville has had Idaho Falls' number. Even the one-team win from 2 years ago was able to beat the Tigers. Next week, Timberline makes a return trip from Boise. That was a game the Bees lost just by 1 last year.
That was a great game last year. Now, kickoff is less than an hour away. We'll be bringing you updates from both games throughout the night. Now, make sure and join us after the game. We'll have reacts from the coaches in the Grease Monkey post-game show.